Hello, welcome. My name is Jody Scholes. I'm your instructor for the MBLEX review course. Boom shakalaka, here we are. Here we are working on week 1 of our 12-week study program, and that is navigating the body. Yes, navigating the body. This is a foundational review of terms, anatomical terms, movement, some muscles, some energy. It's a good overall review to springboard you into more learning. So it's just a lot of this is going to sound familiar, and that's a good thing. So welcome. Welcome to you, and welcome if you're watching this later on. And also, you can see in the house, we've got quite a few people. Let me make sure our view is correct. Yeah, got quite a few people in the house. And welcome to our free members. We've had some free members in our Patreon community that are dipping their toe in the water today to see if they like these these Thursday classes. So welcome. So our class is going to go down in 3 parts. The very first part is an intro and a test taking strategy or a study strategy. We spend about the first 5-10 minutes of class talking about your strategy on how to study, your strategy on how to take the practice exams, on how that translates to the MBLEX. So that's part 1. Part 2 is our content. We'll be learning about navigating the body, as I mentioned, the regions, the bones, some muscles, some pathologies. It's just a good, well-rounded review and a place to start from. For some of you, you just got out of school. For others of you, you have been out of school maybe for a while. And so I like starting here to get us all on the same page. That's our learning in part 2. And in part 3, we dissect questions. I have put together for you questions that are very similar to the style you'll see on the MBLEX. So as you know, I like to give credit where credit is due. And that is, I want to say that some of the images we're using today are cited. So it tells you where they came from, but quite a few are from the book Trail Guide to the Body. So thank you to Trail Guide for the Body, Trail Guide to the Body for the images. But welcome to Navigating the Body. We like to start our classes with some strategy. Many of the graduates in this community have failed forward on the MBLEX, meaning they've taken it once and not been successful. And so part of your success in taking the MBLEX is understanding what you're getting into, understanding the test, understanding how to study, what to study, when to study. So, brand new to this program is our advanced 12-week study guide. We've been bringing you 8 weeks, but there were some gaps, things that weren't, things that needed to be expanded. Let's put it that way. I wouldn't say gaps, but things that needed to be expanded. And so, as you can see on our 12-week study guide, this is posted in the Patreon community, and we'll post it again as a link to this class. Week 1 is navigating the body. That's where we are. And you can see color-coded how you're going to move through your study materials. This is what many of you have been asking for. What do I study? We're going to study one thing for a full week. Now, for some of you, you're taking the MBLEX in the next, say, 4 weeks. Say you're taking it 4 weeks from now or 8 weeks from now. Maybe it's less. You're going to condense this study guide and do 2 weeks in one. So you'll condense the study guide if you need to move through it more quickly. Otherwise, stay with us and move through this material over the next 12 weeks. On this study guide, you'll also see, please, we ask that you set aside 2 hours, at least 2 hours, for your study sessions. Whether you're taking a practice exam, whether you're reviewing, whether you're listening to video, 2 hours is the magic number. It might sound like a lot. It's the magic number because you have 1 hour and 50 minutes to take your MBLEX. So what you're working on in a 2-hour study session is your ability to focus. I would love to do a dance here and just like go a little crazy and be like, guys, you got to be able to focus for 2 hours. It ain't going to work otherwise. So in your study sessions, set aside 2 hours and see how you do. Many of you already are like, I got 2 hours. I can do this for 2 hours. That's what we're going for. That's the magic number, because then you can focus not only on your studying, but on the test. The Zoom link for this session is in Patreon, and we post it in the most recent announcement. So if you go to the home page on the day of our class, you will see a post, an announcement with this link for live class there. You can also rest assured that starting in a couple weeks, it's the link we use over and over again. We won't be using this link again because we invited a bunch of people who are free members. So this isn't the link that's going to work every week, but that link for this class will be in the announcement on the day of our class. And also, depending on where you are with your studies, when your MBLEX is, this content, the content that's being posted, the content we're working on, you may have already covered. So it may not quite line up if you're moving through it more quickly. But over a simple 12-week program, it will. And also, this is a great refresher. There are people in our study session today who've already passed the MBLEX. They're here because they want to continue to learn. They want to continue to deepen their knowledge. So stay with us. In fact, the membership, so once you pass the MBLEX, you'll be changing your membership. And you can change that membership tier. You'll be changing it either to business mentoring or to alumni support. Alumni support allows us to help you with your license, allows us to stay in contact via direct message. Business mentoring gives you all of that, plus specific mentoring in a small group twice a month on your specific needs to grow your massage practice. So that's how this works. So this is a shorter version of the full-length class. If you like what you're seeing, hop on over to Patreon. Become a free member. Become a $20 member. Go check it out. Works the same way with the lower body content. The hip bone, the femur, the head of the femur, is proximal to the knee. The knee bone is distal to the hip bone. So the head of the femur is, excuse me, I'm talking about the knee. We have the distal end of the femur. We have the proximal end of the femur. All right. Proximal, higher up, usually closer to the midline. Let's look at a few planes of movement. We haven't seen too many questions on planes of movement on the MBLEX, but it's good review. So we have the 3 planes that we're going to look at here. Let's start with the frontal plane. It's the easiest. The frontal plane divides the front from the back. The middle plane here, this blue line, divides the body left to right, and it's called the sagittal plane. If you were sitting on a saddle, sounds like sagittal, right? So if you're on a horse, you're sitting on a saddle, that saddle divides you left and right. And then we have this transverse plane, also called the horizontal plane. It lays down like the horizon. When you see the sun come up on the horizon or the sun go down on the horizon, that transverse plane, that horizontal plane, there's something above it and below it. Usually it's at the umbilicus, it's usually at the belly button, but it's not always. Sometimes it moves a little, but that transverse plane. And we talk about sometimes movement in these planes. Okay, we've talked about superior and inferior. Another term we rarely see, but just in case, is cranial and caudal. May not have heard those for a while because they're usually vet terms, to be honest with you, because caudal is the tail. It's our tailbone. So our coccyx. Caudal is a coccyx and on a human. It's our tailbone. But typically it's actually on an animal. So on a horse, it would be their tail. On a doggy, it would be their tail. And cranial is easy, right? Cranium, it's at the head. Now, just because the umbilicus can be tricky, we know anterior and posterior. We were talking about that in the frontal plane, right? Sometimes they call it the coronal plane. But the frontal plane divides us anterior from posterior, front from back. Sometimes you'll see the words ventral and dorsal. Normally, these are cardiovascular terms. So it's a doctor of cardiovascular medicine, so of heart medicine. But dorsal is a little easier to remember because of the dorsal surfaces of our hand. And if you remember, so dorsal is posterior, and we'll see this image in just a moment, and ventral is anterior. Vent. If I was going to vent, I would be like, ba, 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 ba. I'm venting, right? So that's in the front. And the dorsal is in the back, is on the back. So a quick review of those planes because we'll come back to dorsal in just a moment. Here's that frontal plane, sometimes called the coronal plane, the sagittal plane, left and right, sitting on a saddle, and then the transverse plane. Yes, so that horizontal plane. Bigger picture I thought was pretty good. We will come back to that dorsal surface, ventral dorsal, on another slide. But we don't often talk about energetic anatomy. And it's on the list of things you will need to know for the umbilicus. Now, they have taken out a lot of Chinese medicine. They've taken out all the Chinese medicine, except you will need to know what Chinese medicine is. So TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, energy anatomy, there's a few things you will need to know. With the chakra system, you will need to know there are 7. 7 is a heavenly number. 7 is a big number in different religions. The chakras are energy centers within the body. Traditional Chinese medicine is based on meridians, energy pathways that run through the body. However, 7 chakras, let me give you a bigger picture. We will need to know the color and the name. The color and the name. So in school, they may have given you this, this name to remember. Have you ever met the guy, Roy G. Biv? Have you ever heard of the guy, Roy G. Biv? He is not some famous Indian philosopher. No, he's the colors of your chakras. Yes. Red, orange, yellow, Roy. G, green. Biv, B-I-V, blue, indigo, violet. Mm-hmm. Roy G. Biv. These are also colors of the rainbow. These are the arc of the rainbow as well. And so each of these seven chakras are the red is our root chakra. It's our pelvic floor and tailbone. Our root chakra grounds us to Mother Earth. You won't need to know much about these chakras. I might say a few words about them, but you don't need to know that for the MBLEX. Our orange chakra is called our sacral chakra. Guess where that is? Yeah, in our sacrum. And also it is on the front too, about an inch below our belly button. The solar plexus chakra is yellow. It's at our diaphragm, just about the xiphoid process. Do you know where your xiphoid process is? Okay. Heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye chakra, right in here, in between our eyebrows, our third eye, the seat of intuition. Yes. And then the crown chakra. It's said to be just above the head. It's where our divine communication enters and leaves. It's where messages from the divine are said to enter. And that's our violet chakra. So yeah, you got to know these. It's foundational information. You don't need to know like the Sanskrit names. You don't need to know what they represent per se. You do need to know location. Good. Navigating the body. Here we are. Let's explore a little bit under the skin, the fascia. Fascia is considered connective tissue. And fascia is the layer. Do you understand fascia? Do you already know about fascia? Let's do a review. So fascia covers all the muscles, all the organs. Um, we sometimes have pathologies that affect the fascia. A common one is plantar fasciitis, plantar region of the foot, fasciitis. Remember, itis is inflammation, arthritis, bursitis. Yeah. So plantar fasciitis is inflammation of the fascia. Here's where it lives. This is our skin, a cross section of our skin. We've got the epidermis, we've got the dermis, and the superficial fascia is just before the muscle. Now, not in here is the subcutaneous level. There is no hypodermis, okay? Be careful of made-up words on the MBLEX. But the superficial fascia is just here, and then there's deeper fascia. Here's another cross-section. That superficial fascia, and then that deeper fascia that surrounds our muscles. Now, there's different types of fascia. Gosh, I hope you never see this on your MBLEX. But just in case, I want to point out to you the classification system for fascia. Now, this is what fascia looks like under a microscope. It's that web. So all these collagen fibers, all of these elastin fibers, superficial fiber. So this superficial fascia, which is normally what we address when we're doing myofascial release or massage, it's found under the skin and superficial to the adipose layers, so that subcutaneous layer. So traditionally, it's described like you see in this picture. It's like interwoven. When collagen lays down like that, it just lays down like pixie sticks. Like you just dropped a bunch of straws and just layers down. Sometimes there can be some issues with the fascia, but this is what, let me give you the classifications. There's deep fascia. We talked about that. There's also two others. Hopefully you never see them, but in case you do, visceral fascia is around organs. Parietal fascia is the it's on the outside of the lining of the organs of the body. So we've talked about how fascia surrounds the organs of the body, and it does that so they glide and slide more easily next to each other. So that it lines the wall of the body cavity just outside of what they call the parietal layer. Um, so you don't need to know that deep of anatomy, just know it exists. There's four. You'll only probably ever hear about superficial and deep. Now and then we talk about the visceral fascia because we talk about visceral pain, right? Mm. As I was going through our lecture today, I said, you know what? We should talk about visceral pain if we talk about visceral fascia. So we're going to do that in just a moment. Let me show you the visceral fascia surrounds organs. Parietal fascia. Parietal fascia is mostly found on the pelvic floor. I show it here in, as it's surrounding the outer wall of the colon, but that's again so it glides. Just simply know there's fascia there, but there's fascia on the pelvic floor as well. So, but just in just a moment, we'll compare visceral pain to other kinds of pain. But we're talking about visceral fascia, and that's sometimes where the visceral pain comes from, not just the organ, but the fascia. I know, I know. It's almost like fascia itself, right? Oh my gosh, what is all this? What are you talking about? I'm reviewing these terms so that when you see them if you see them on the MBLEX, that you can pause and be like, okay, I'm not lost. Let's come back. I actually can figure this out. Before we leave fascia and move on to pain, names of pain, I wanted to mention that sometimes there are fascial adhesions. And you will see these sometimes in the form of scar tissue. Fascial adhesions can be part of scar tissue because scar tissue is in the skin, right? Well, depending on how deep that scar tissue goes, it can go through the fascial layer as well. That's where myofascial release becomes very helpful. That's an advanced form of study. Myo, muscle, fascia, myofascial release. So it's a form of body work that specifically addresses the muscles and the fascia with a focus on fascia. But scars will often be stuck and not very mobile. That indicates that there's some adhesions. All right. Types of pain. Many of these you've heard of, but again, we're preparing for the MBLEX. So we got to go through all of them just in case they come up because the MBLEX test question writers love to give you big words. Yeah. So we get to break apart those big words as we've learned to do in medical terminology, prefix, root, and suffix. But I'm going to review the types of pain with you so that you know there's different kinds of pain. All right. So we know you probably are familiar with acute and chronic. Acute, immediate, short-term onset right now. It's acute. It's happening right now. Probably short-term. Chronic, longer term, comes and goes. Referred pain. We have questions about referred pain on our practice exam. Referred pain means that we push on one spot, but it hurts at a different spot. So if I'm holding, doing an occipital hold, and I feel usually a trigger point. Trigger points will often refer pain to other parts of the body. Yeah, it can happen. So if you ever, maybe in clinic, or maybe with your practice people, you've been doing that occipital hold and they felt pain in their eye. Very common referred pain pattern. But it's a type of pain, so just know it exists. You can push on one spot, it hurts in another. That's referred pain. Radiating, just like it sounds. It's radiating down, pain that starts in one location but goes down. So brachial plexus syndrome, brachial plexus pain can have pain radiating down the arm. Can radiate right down to the fingers. Radiating pain, it starts up here, it goes all the way down. Sciatic pain can sometimes be radiating pain. Your clients will tell you, oh, it goes right down, goes down my back of my leg through my knee. So it hurts in the sciatic area, maybe in the sciatic notch, but it radiates down the leg. These types of pains have different qualities. And so sometimes you're asked about those qualities of pain on the MBLEX. We got a few more pains though. You ready? No. Break it down. These are the organs of the lymph system. And as we wrap up today, know that we have also the respiratory system, the integumentary system, the reproductive system, and the excretory system. Yeah. So all of these different systems of the body are a part of your anatomy and your physiology. So understanding what organs are in each system of the body and the physiology, how those systems work. Yeah. Yay! Let's dissect some questions. Here we go. Oh, before we dissect the questions, here's how we're going to do it today. We're going to take about another 5-6 minutes to dissect questions. And when you know the answer, I'd like you to type it in the chat, as long as you're not driving or you have 2 kids on your hips. Type it in the chat, but don't press send yet. I'd like to give everyone about 15 seconds, 30 seconds. In the MBLEX, you've got about 45 to 50 seconds to answer your question. It's a long time. We're not going to take that much time today, but we're going to take about 15 seconds. We're going to move through these questions just like you'd move through a question on the MBLEX. We're going to read it, going to read the question out loud, then I'm going to read the answers. We're going to eliminate one wrong answer. And after we eliminate the wrong answer, I'll say go. And you can go ahead and hit enter to send in the chat what you think the answer is. Okay, that gives everybody a fair shake at taking their time. There's no pressure to go quickly. Most of the time, when someone goes quickly, it's the time they make a mistake. So pace yourself. This is practice. This is part of learning how to take the MBLEX. Learning how to pace yourself. So we're going to read the question out loud, going to read the answers. We're going to eliminate one wrong answer, and then. Here we go. Blank is a continuous network of connective tissue sheets that surround and support every structure in the human body, including bones, muscles, organs, nerves, and joints. Remember, if you think you know the answer, don't hit enter yet. A, muscle tissue. B, skin and tegumentary system. C, tendons and ligaments. D, fascia. Blank. What is a continuous network of connective tissue sheets that surrounds and supports every structure in the human body, including bones, muscles, organs, nerves, and joints. Is it A, muscle, B, skin, the integumentary system, C, tendons and ligaments, D, fascia? We're going to get rid of one wrong answer. Not muscles. That's not what muscles do. And so, ready? When you're ready, put your answer in the chat. Go. This is so good. This works so well. Boom, 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 boom. Yes. Awesome. Amanda, yes. Lily, yes. Angie, yes. Meg, got it. Paris, got it. Gata Boys, yep. Mayor, nailed it. Marcia, nailed it. Ms. V, yup. Lisa, Brienne, nailed it. Petitia, Brenda, good. Best answer? Fascia. What about skin? Mm-mm. Best answer. Fascia. Skin doesn't surround your organ. I guess it does on the outside, but the best answer is fascia. Now, it could have been skin, but the better answer was fascia. We're going to see that again. And let me warn you, on the MBLEX, there's often more than one right answer. What? Yeah, there's more than one right answer. You have to get the best answer. Next. Okay. The third eye is what to the heart chakra? The third eye is what to the heart chakra? A, inferior. B, medial. C, distal. D, superior. The third eye is what to the heart chakra? Okay, so let's walk through it, right? Go ahead, put your hand on your third eye. Put your hand on your heart. The third eye is what to the heart chakra? A, inferior. B, medial. C, distal. D, superior. Let's get rid of one right answer. Remember, we're playing the game, guys. Don't put your answers in yet. I got to say go. Let's get rid of one wrong answer. The third eye is not distal to the heart chakra. Ready, set, go. Put your answer in. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, you ready? Let's see. Let me see. Lisa nailed it. Petitia, yeah. Good. Paris, good. Third eye to the heart chakra. The third eye is in relation to the heart chakra. Meg nailed it. Good. Gator boys, you got it. Greta, Brenda, nice. Best answer? Superior. The third eye is superior to the heart chakra. Right? Third eye is higher than, is superior. The heart chakra is inferior to the third eye. Hee hee hee. Hee ha ha ha. Next question. What is pes planus? What is pes planus? Yay! Oh, yes. Great work today. With this, navigating the body is building your solid foundation. And you can see here, I have a picture of bricks being laid with cement. And I say every brick in the wall, every hour that you spend studying counts. Great work today. Thank you for your patience. We were running Um, Running a little long. And yet, here we are. How are you feeling? Do a body check. Let's just pause here for a moment and do a little body check. How's your body feeling? You ready to go? Good. Lisa says, great. This is a good indicator of where your stamina is. We're over 90 minutes into our lesson today. Yeah, over 90 minutes. And here we are. So this is a great gauge. Do you feel like you could go for another 30 minutes? Yeah, cool. It's a great gauge of your stamina. So I'm going to wrap up the recording, but I'm going to hang out with these good folks, answer some questions. I'll remind you, my name again is Jody Skulls. Thank you so much. If you are a free member and you are here right now, uh, then welcome. Consider joining us at either the $20 or the $49 membership level. We would love to have you, love to welcome you, love to get you started with practice exams and exams with immediate feedback and simulation, MBLEX simulation exams. So thanks so much for being here. See you soon.